Hi, Brickley here. We're going to be doing some Torghast. This will probably be one of the most awkward videos you've ever seen because I have never done this before and I'm just naturally socially awkward. Anyway, we're going to be doing the upper reaches layer 8 in Torghast. As you see, the reward is 570 soul ash for this layer. That is provided that you haven't done any of the lower layers, because as you see, the reward for doing layer 1 is 120 soul ash, then you go up to 220 soul ash for layer 2, and so forth. Now, as long as you can do layer 8, the best idea is if you have it open to go ahead and just do layer 8, because it will give you all the lower layers below it. As you can see, Blizzard recently added recommended item levels. So to do the layer 8, the recommended eye level is 195. So most people at this point should be able to do this. I'm going to do it as a Guardian Druid, and my eye level is 215. So here we go. We're just waiting for a load screen because unlike some lucky people with solid state drives, I am not one of those people. Alright, so we're going to pick our first power here. So we can choose from Drought of Midday, Calm, which when Moonfire, Rake, Rip, or Rejuvenation are active on a single target, the effects of these spells are increased by 60%. Or we can choose every 20th Moonfire tick calls down a full moon upon its target. Or Unbridled Darkness, where you release the darkness for 15 seconds, causing you to be completely unable to view your surroundings while under the effect. So, this sounds like a power I don't want, to be honest. I'm probably just going to go with the Moonfire type. Alright. Now, you'll probably notice while I'm doing this, when I'm in Torghast, I am not one of those beasts that go in and round up the entire room. I don't really like to do that. Especially being that Guardian is not my primary spec. I'm actually a Resto Druid. I just prefer not to do Torghast and Resto because it takes even longer. Wave of Suffering. So, one of the most important parts of Torghast, in my opinion, would be to make sure that you are interrupting whenever you can. That seems to be one of the hardest things, is people do not interrupt and then they die. Go. Yeah, I mean, these skeletal remains, you could probably just pick them all up with these guys over here. The main thing is when there's an elite in the pack, I really try not to round the whole room up with that. Because I am not one of those diehard players that will somehow survive pulling the entire floor. Now, these ashen things, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, always make sure that you smash them, because they do give you plenty of phantasma for 0 work, basically. Now, this guy, we're gonna want to go around and unchain him. These found soul remnants you want to collect throughout your run, because they do stack this buff called Soul Remnants Blessing, which increases strength, agility, and intellect by 1%. So they do stack all throughout your run, so they definitely are worth picking up. Yeah, this dude, I will pick him over with this one. Crushing Stomp, you want to make sure that you do run away from that. If you don't, there is a good chance that you'll probably die, to be honest. So, anytime you see that, just run away. Make sure you don't run over there into all the other stuff, but Crushing Stomp.
Beware. Run away, little girl! Run away. Beware.
There we go. There's nothing over here. Alright, now we have our next power. Yikes. We also have these fog dwellers that came out of nowhere to eat us. So we will stop. Again, try to interrupt everything you can with these guys, or any guys in here. I mean, my guildies that do have issues with Torghast, I think the number one thing is either they don't bother to interrupt, or they don't. Yeah, it's mostly just they don't bother, let's be honest. Alright, let's look at our power. So, enemies afflicted by Moonfire deal 10% less damage, or increase maximum health by 15%. So I'm just going to take the increase, to be honest. Go back up. And kill these Maw Rats. Basically, if you don't have secret spaces as a power, it's Maw Rats are just ugly little nuisances that nobody wants to deal with. To the back. Terrifying Screech, so you definitely want to interrupt that, because as you see, Terrifying Screech feared me over here. Luckily, there was nothing left here to come for me, or I probably would have rounded all that up as well. So, Terrifying Screech. That's amazing. I mean, this guy, that's the only thing you can manage to interrupt. Terrifying Roar. Terrifying Roar again. All this stuff is mostly just things you can round up. None of them are elite. They don't really do a lot of damage. You can just clear this whole room out at this point. Well, everything ahead of that's over there. So Massive Strike, that's those little gray kind of yucky looking things on the ground. Stay out of those. massive strike, dodge attack. So they're kind of like, I don't even know what you would describe those as. Anyway, that gray kind of smoky stuff on the ground. Stay out of that. Just a second here. Oh, we almost forgot to smash those pots over there. I don't recommend missing them just because it's really easy Phantasma. Especially if you struggle in these, you want to have enough Phantasma to buy as many powers as you can once you get to the Venter. Just gonna kill these. Looks like a pretty big pack up there. There we go. I mean, we're pretty much without a choice gonna pull this whole thing, to be honest. So at this point, so we can get rid of as many of these smaller dudes as possible right off the bat. Terrifying roars. We want to interrupt again. The amount of interrupts aren't anything crazy here. I mean, I don't think there's really a class that can't meet them. Even a hunter, like with a 25-second interrupt should have no problem. So here's another one of these soul remnants. So see right now we're increased by 1%. So we pick him up. And there's 2 stacks now. So increased by 2%. Alright, so this is the Torghast. I don't think there's anything crazy here. This one's pretty easy. I mean, whatever this thing is, hurts a little bit, but it's nothing that you can't manage. Down. Alright, let's see what power we can pick from. So when Moonfire, Rake, Rip, or Rejuvenation are active on a single target, their effects are increased by 60%. When you attack an elite or rare creature for the first time, spawn one nearby orb that will heal you for 25% of your maximum health when collected, or when you fall below 20% health, immediately heal to full health. This can only occur once per floor. So I like to pick that one, to be honest, just as like an emergency. All right, I'm going to just turn the game sounds off for now because apparently it is going over my voice and it's hard to hear me. So we will fix that at a later date. So now that we're in here, we're going to smash all these pots. So remember, we have 2 of these soul remnants right now. Now we have 3. So increased by 3%. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you collect all of them as you go through the every floor, I mean, they do add up eventually. Make sure you stay out of that green stuff. It will hurt you. And of course, even after all these years of World of Warcraft, people still insist on standing in things they shouldn't. So, just a gentle reminder. Out of the green stuff. This duelist doesn't want to die. There we go. She's gone. I don't know. I can't tell the difference between these creatures. Alrighty. Mossworn Guard. A curse strength, so interrupt that. Don't stand in that like I just did because it really does hurt. And if you have that in a big group of other mobs that are causing a lot of damage, there is a good chance that you'll die. So when I'm in here, basically I need every power I can um, because I'm not the number one player out there. I don't claim to be. I never will try to claim to be. So just make sure if you struggle in these layer 8s that you do everything you can to get as many powers as possible. Those are the rule of thumb. As many powers as possible and as many interrupts as you can get. These royal advisors are not very nice. There we go. It died. Crushing Stomp. Make sure you run away from that. It's probably advisable to, if you struggle on these, not to do what I just did and pull this big pack when I was already pretty much dead. Crushing Stomp, so run away, just with keeping with staying out of everything. You can come smash these at the same time. And see, that's why it's important to smash those too, because some of them do have powers in them. Crushing Stomp, run away again. This is just the guy that doesn't want to die, basically. Crushing Stomp again. If you can kill him faster, obviously, it would be ideal to have less of that nightmare. I just died. How sad. All right. Now, the question one might wonder is, should we just skip it and go up there? No. This is the point where we need to seek revenge. And this guy needs to die. Crushing Stomp, run away. Crushing Slam, run away. Anything named crushing anything, to me, you probably should just run away from it. It's just, no matter where you are in the game, it just doesn't sound like a fun time. Crushing Stomp, run away. Don't look away to do other things for a second, like me. There we go. And he's dead. Okay. Growl increases the target's damage taken by 15% for 8 seconds, or gain immunity to all damage and harmful effects for 1.5 minutes after choosing this item. So we're going to pick that one. And as tempting as it is to go get that other power, we only have 1.5 minutes with that great power. So we can always go back and grab it. But it looks more appealing to be able to YOLO into this pack of stuff and just DPS it down, be immune to all its bullcrap. All right, we are no longer immune. So whenever you have that power, just make sure, you're set up for the best situation. Either one, you can DPS most of them down and have a reasonable amount by the time that immunity wears off. Or, I mean, really, that's the main thing, to be honest. Don't round up like 20 elites, which I don't know where you would find that many in Torghast, but if it ever happened, I wouldn't recommend doing that because in a minute and a half, it's not likely that you're going to DPS all those down. So just make sure that you'll likely end up with few enough that you can just kill them. So as you can see, it was worth it. That big pack is completely dead. All right, so become able to see which enemies are carrying plundered anima or entangling roots. Deal 2,614 nature damage every 1.7 seconds. So we're going to pick Golden Idol so we can see that. This one, when a target dies, your damage over time effects on them jump to another target within 15 yards, or your damage abilities and your damaging spells, and abilities empower your weapon, increasing the damage of your next melee strike by 125, stacking up to 100 times. So we're going to take that one. Sounds pretty good. There's not really any method I have to picking which power I'm going to take. I just take whichever one sounds the best to me, or the one that sounds like it might hurt the bad guys the most. I'm sure there's a method. I'm sure there's strategy guides out there. I'm sure there's a lot of things that would probably be better than me just blindly picking these, but it is what it is, and that's how I like to do it. So now we have 4 stacks of the Soul Remnant's Blessing, which increases strength, agility, and intellect by 4% now. Alrighty. So floor boss. I don't remember. I don't think there's anything really crazy about this guy. He disengages and jumps around. He's obviously some sort of hunter. I don't know. So let's see. He doesn't appear to do anything too crazy. I'm not a die-hard Torghast person. See that trap over there on the floor? Don't step in it. It'll be a bad idea. The things that happen to you will hurt, and they will be very unpleasant. So just don't stand in the trap. It's that easy. See, there's a new one. Make sure you don't do what I did and actually pay attention to your health. Try not to back into these stupid traps. We almost have him down, 4%. But see, he can cause some discomfort. And there we go. He's down. So make sure you loot him to collect your Phantasma. And let's look at the power. So you can acquire 300 Phantasma. Entangling Roots deals 2,919 nature damage every 1.7 seconds. Or your damaging spells and abilities have a very high chance to heal you for 5% of your maximum health. Now, if you have trouble with survivability, this might be a good one for you to choose. In Torghast, I don't really bother with entangling roots, so I probably won't pick that one. I'm just going to acquire 300 Phantasma and hope that what I can get from the vendor is better. So now we're going to move on to floor 3. The hardest floor in the entire Torghast. That was a very dramatic build up for such a slow load time. Alrighty. So we're going to unchain this guy. I'd be really interested to know the person that decided chains would be so involved in this expansion. Like, you have to unchain this guy, you gotta unchain yourself in the mod, like, you gotta crawl across chains in Torghast. I'd be really interested to know who thought that this would be a great idea. Alright, so these little traps can be kind of gross. I mean, I'm Night Fae, so I wait for it to be like there, and then I just shapeshift through. It's the quickest way, it's the easiest way. It is the Brooklyn Town way. Alright. So when you're in here, just this room, obviously, it's easy. Walk around, collect soul remnants. I would recommend not walking through that because you might get hit. There's no reason. See, there's things that soar across there. You really have no reason to cross over that. Just walk in through here to the broker and see what kind of powers we can get. I always repair at the broker. That's just in case, like, even if I'm at, say, like 99%, I still choose to repair here just to make sure I'm okay. So I'm going to buy an anima cell. I'm going to increase my mastery by 3%. So bark skin and iron bark deal 915 damage to all attackers. I use them. I know some druids are lazy and they don't for whatever reason, but I do, so I'm going to pick that power. I'm also going to pick this one that's going to increase my maximum health by 15% because that will help with survivability. I'm going to pick another stack of Drought of Midday Calm. At least I thought I was going to. Oh, it did work. It just didn't show for me. All right, so String of Fangs and Talons. So this increases damage and healing, so we'll take that. And that's all we can buy for now from that guy. Don't forget about your plundered anima cell that you probably bought. So this one, increase critical damage and healing by 12%, or your periodic heals have a very high chance to apply iron bark to the target. So I'm going to go with the critical damage and healing increase. Basically, you kind of want to map your way out in here with damage, anima, powers, wherever you can. And see, you still don't have to cross over those lines. You can just go this way. It might seem very tempting just to walk through the middle of the room, but it's not really a good idea. There we go. So we have another stack. So now we're at Soul Remnants Blessing, 7 stacks. So strength, agility, and intellect are increased by 7%. Don't get hit by that. It hurts. It throws you backwards. Pick that up. And now we have another power to choose. So you deal 25% increased damage for 5 seconds after exiting Prowl. When Moonfire, Rake, Rip, or Rejuvenation are active on a single target, their effects are increased by 60%. Or when a target dies, your damage over time effects on them jump to another target within 15 yards. Now, I'm going to choose this one. If you're picking this right before the 6th floor final boss or something like that, don't do that. Just don't. He's the only guy there. So it's just a waste of time. So now we're going up to floor 4. If you want faster load times, definitely recommend getting an SSD so you don't have the weird type of issues that I have here. All right, so let's get started on this floor. Terrifying roar, make sure you interrupt it if you can. Terrifying roar again. Interrupt. There we go. That guy is dead. Now we have all kinds of these to smash. There we go. Honestly, I don't see any elites in here in these groupings, so I'm just going to pick them all up just to try and save some time. I mean, slow and steady wins the race for some people here. I'm one of those people. I mean, I have some friends that I know they can do a full Torghast clear from start to finish in like 10 minutes. I am not one of those people. I don't know how anyone is one of those people, but if you follow some of this nonsense I'm talking and you struggle with Torghast, you can probably get through it without too much trouble. So, yay, a secret bad guy. That's the way we like it. Concealing fog. You can interrupt that. There we go. So now we have two elites, a Lord of Torment and a rune carved Colossus. This might be a little bit painful. It depends. Yeah, that's as far as he can go. I was kind of hoping I could pull him all the way to avoid pulling the other guy, but we'll see. So Wave of Suffering, I really recommend if you can try and interrupt it. That one really does hurt. Eternal Torment, if you can kick it, go ahead. Like, just do whatever you can to get rid of this guy as quick as you can. But as you can see, if you're careful enough, you should be able to manage to just pull him. I mean, plenty of times I've pulled him and that other guy, but today luck is in my favor. See what I mean, though? This guy has a lot of interrupting, so if you just sit here trying to interrupt the crap out of him, you can usually get rid of him pretty easily. They be a kinky one and like chains. Yeah, that was kind of what I was getting at with whoever created all the chain stuff for this expansion. I mean, one of my guildies, I won't call them out by name in case they ever watch this video, but they really want them to implement as a transmog, basically like very, very sharp looking stilettos as a transmog, and they also want a whip to go along with it, so you can figure that out. Maybe they're the secret Blizzard employee that decided we needed all these chains and things. Very possible. I got feared. But see, it's not a big deal because we cleared this whole area. So again, if you struggle in Torghast, it might sound tempting to stealth or sneak by a bunch of stuff, but if you already have a hard time in here and something like that happens and you get feared back this way and there's a bunch of stuff you went past, you're going to pull it all. So you probably will die. So it's just easier not to do that. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't like coming in here twice a week, let alone coming in here multiple times a week because I failed or having to do a lower layer. So it's just easier to play it safe in here. I know it's a little more time consuming, but it is worth it because it's one and done. If I had to repeat this, it's obviously double the time, especially now that I'm at floor 4. So if you're like me, just take your time. It's just easier. There we go. Smash all these pots. Again, I know I could have avoided these guys, but it's worth it for the Phantasma. Took me 2 seconds and I got 7. So, I wouldn't recommend pulling all this stuff with that guy because as you can see, he's pathing up there. So, it's likely pretty easy just to grab him by himself. So, it just really wouldn't make sense. Okay. Can down this guy before he gets over here. So, let's get rid of him. There we go. Just going to heal up to full health. Out of range, out of range. There we go. We got him. Crushing Slam. Run away. He's the exact same guy as the last floor. That guy that killed me. So we need to get double revenge now and kill 2 with him. So run away from that. Go right back. Crushing Slam. Crushing Stomp. Run away. There we go. So we can either obtain 10 soul remnants, or when you critically strike with a direct attack, an arcane bolt will also strike your target, dealing 1,741 arcane damage. So we're going to pick that one. We already have enough soul remnants. I'm happy with it. We have 10, so we'll just keep moving. Alrighty. So, I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of crap going on up here. I would just recommend taking your time here. I know some of my friends that might eventually watch this will probably be like, Brookley, just round up this entire room. Brookley, what are you doing? You're wasting your whole life in here. This is because they don't get to see me do this solo. I do this in my own time. So I can hide from some minor judgments. Okay, so we want to destroy this pot thing. Get rid of it. There we go. Stay out of that green crap unless you're me. Then we'll get rid of that. But I mean, this is more like the things that are on this platform, they don't really overall do a lot of damage. It's just there's a lot of things going on here. And as you see, there is a rare there. And you don't want to pull him with all this stuff. You really don't. I mean, you might want to, but I don't. So I'm not going to do it. Let's see. Now we'll get rid of this death speaker. At the same time, I'm going to sneak over and get rid of this. Uh-oh, I'm going to die because of that. No, I did it. I'm alive. Good job, Berkeley. Good job. interrupt this death speaker as much as you can. Wave of suffering, stomp that out of here. We don't want it. Mass defibrillator, wave of suffering. As you can see, like some classes just aren't going to be able to interrupt, stun, do 5 million things to get past that. So just do your best. You'll learn which ones are the most painful over time. Heal up. Let's have a look. Dealing physical damage has a chance to confuse the target, compelling them to fight alongside you for 25 seconds, or your damage and heal up over time effects occur 33% more often. I'm going to pick that one. Now we're going to kill this Enforcer. We're also going to remember that we're in Guardian and move into bear form. Perfect. That's done. Now we're going to get this Heart Seeker. So this guy's name alone tells me he might hurt a little bit. He wants to draw blood from me. He's seeking my heart, literally. So try to interrupt that, I would say. I mean, he's a really ugly looking bat thing. He probably flew over here from Revendreth. I don't know. I can only assume. Let's see here. There we go. He's dead. Let's see what he has to offer us. So we can increase critical strike chance by 9%, or while in combat, cause all enemies within 15 yards to bleed uncontrollably, suffering 592 shadow damage every 3 seconds, or while in combat, leech 394 health from a random enemy within 15 yards every 2 seconds. This damage and healing is tripled if the target is suffering from the bleed effect. I mean, these last two both sound pretty sexy. So sometimes my system of just picking what sounds the most appealing to me, it doesn't necessarily work out in my favor because sometimes I like the sound of all of the things. So we'll do this in the most mature way possible. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. No, we'll pick this one. I'm just joking. All right. Now, another soul remnant. So we are now at 11. So that increases our strength, agility, and intellect by 11%. And now we're over here at one of these lovely boxes. I'll scroll in. So this is pretty annoying. You have one of these little skulls that controls one chain. You have one that controls 2, one that controls 3, and one that controls 4. So we want to click on this to see what it does. So this one just controls this one by the looks of it. So I usually try the 2 on the end first. So that gets rid of that. That gets rid of that. And that probably puts them back. Yeah. Okay, so this one controls that. See, sometimes I just mess it all up. It's not that fun. I don't like these. We're rid of that. I kind of just click on them until I figure it out, to be honest. So get rid of that. Get rid of that. There. We got rid of it. And then we almost got yeeted off the side. All right, so your strength, agility, stamina, and intellect are increased by 30%, and you are no longer able to jump. So, as you have probably noticed, I run around and I jump a lot and I do all the things that this tells me I won't be able to do. Now, as much as the 30% increase sounds attractive, it is not attractive for me. So, we're going to gain immunity to all damage and harmful effects for 1.5 minutes and move on with our life and ignore the people that are thinking, Brooklyn, you should have picked the other one. Brooklyn, why did you not pick the other one? You psycho. And I'll be like, well, you know, sometimes it do be like that. All right. It was a great power to have for this royal advisor because they hurt. Now this one I think really sucks. We'll see. I don't remember until I actually see what they're gonna do. Oh, this guy just throws out sin bolts, I think. Shadow bolt volley sounds painful. Let's interrupt it. That sin bolt, though, there's not really, I don't know, I wouldn't go out of my way to interrupt it because you don't have, I don't care who you are, you don't have enough interrupts to get every single one of those. Well, maybe some people do. I don't know. I suspect not, but I'm just a girl pretending to know how to play World of Warcraft. Alrighty. Shadow Bolt Volley, interrupt if possible. Shadow Bolt Volley, interrupt. Sin Bolt, just leave it. It doesn't matter. And he's dead. Let's see what he has to give us. Gain the Tiger Dash talent. I don't really care about that. During Soul Shape, Flicker heals you for 20% of your maximum health, or shape shifting increases the damage or healing of your next Shred, Mango, Wrath, or Regrowth by 200%. We're going to take this one. Here we go. Floor 5. And a horrendous load time. Perfect. That's just what we like to see. Let's see here. All right. I'm just gonna walk in and pull all this stuff. I'm just gonna kill it all. At this point, I'm just kind of tired of it. I mean, it doesn't take me really this long when I do it by myself. It takes me longer than 10 minutes, though, that's for friggin' sure. And those people running those speed runs where they do the whole thing in like 5 minutes, I don't know who those people are. I want to be one of those people. Or I at least want to shake one of their hands. I don't know. Because it's completely insane. Completely insane. Let's see. At this point, if you're anything like me, you just want out of here. That's when it becomes very tempting to start skipping things and not killing things. And I promise you, if you're like me and you're not one of those 10-minute Torghasters because you struggle in here a little bit, um, don't fall into it. Because honestly, you might spend 45 minutes in here, you might spend an hour in here, but if you're just going to rinse and repeat it because you die towards the last guy, you've wasted double the time. So, I mean, it's easier just to see it through, take your time, chill out, like drink a coffee, tea, Rebel, Monster, like whatever's your thing, and just chill. There we go. I don't know what just happened there. That was really weird. All right. We're getting there. Sorta. Slowly but surely. Here's one of those stupid maw rats. I'm fully expecting there to be some sort of, if there is like a maw raid, I am 1,000% expecting there to be some sort of maw rat boss. Like, I will be 100% disappointed if they did not want to have a mall rat boss. Because what would be the point in all these mall rats? Like, if you don't even want to highlight them, like, grow up. I hate that. Just seems pointless. I'm sure it doesn't fit into the quote lore or whatever, though. I don't know. Where some evil mall rat takes over the World of Warcraft planet. Takes over and sends us back to Azeroth. That'll be the end of the storyline here. So dumb. Woo. There we go. Got that desk speaker down. I'm probably, honestly, you can go up that chain if you want to. I'm not going to. I don't want to. I just want it to be over now. So I'm getting sloppy, doing everything I said not to do. Let's smash all these. The one over here has a power, so we're going to smash that. And we're going to pick a power super quick and dash back over here. But not literally, because, yeah. Oh no. Oh no, Berkeley, what did you do? There we go. Not one of these royal advisors. I don't like them. They can go home anytime now. There we go. And there we go. Just in time for another royal advisor. Perfect. I don't know why, I just don't particularly like them. Just seems kind of gross. Just stay out of the green, try to interrupt that mass slow. I don't think the last guy did the mass slow, even though he's the same thing. I don't know. That's why you just really have to watch what they're casting. There we go. We just convoked him to death. Nice. There. We got those. Alright, these big boys don't want me to grab that, so let's just kill them. Racking Torment. Interrupt it. Alrighty. Floor boss time. Empowered Imperial Ugly Dude. Okay, cool. Sounds perfect. I'm gonna take him out of here if he'll come out. I think he pretty much just, I think on this layer he does the exact same thing. All he does is symbol and cry about it, I think. I could be wrong. We'll see in a minute. Shutable Volley. Remember, you don't really have to interrupt that symbol thing. Doesn't really do a lot. Oh, now we can convoke him. That should help us quite a bit. It's down to 24%. Don't get cocky or he might hurt you. See, he's hurting me. Don't let him hurt you too. There we go. He's dead. Let's look at what he's giving us. So, Star Search, Swiftman, Ferocious Bite, and Thrash deal 20% increased damage and healing, or certain anima cells offer additional choices. Inflict shadow damage equal to 40% of all the damage you receive split amongst enemies within 5 yards, but you are no longer able to step backwards. Gross. The funny part is, the first time I got that power where you can't step backwards, I didn't realize that some of the really good powers that you can get actually debilitate you in a way that is nice for your class, and really is gross. So, anyway, I got this on my hunter, I think, for the first time. I read the first part about the damage, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so good. And then probably like 3 more minutes into the run, I realized I can't. What is happening right now? I can't get back up. I can't do anything. Like, what just happened here? So I naturally restarted my client, which obviously the same issue was happening. Duh. I did all kinds of things, all sorts of troubleshooting, all sorts of stuff, and then finally I gave up on trying to figure out what was wrong. Um, then eventually I was in here again on another run, and I decided it would be brilliant to read everything. So once I actually did, I felt like the world's biggest idiot because it literally tells you right on the anima power. So, the lesson of the day here is make sure you read the whole paragraph until you're familiar with them. If you don't know all the powers, don't just pick one because the first part of the sentence sounds appealing, because you possibly and likely will regret that later. A lot of those ones that have a big paragraph, they do something to you you don't want. Like there's one that stacks up until you eventually can't jump or move. I mean, it's like a slow one. I forget what it's called, but I mean, it's not bad for druids. It's a good damage increase one, and you can get rid of the stacks by just moving into a different form. You just swap to boom or whatever you want to do, and then switch back to bear or whatever, and it clears them. But it's still annoying, so just make sure you read them. Eventually, you'll just know what they all do by reading like the first few words. Again, this guy doesn't do a whole lot of anything. This isn't a bad one to have as the last boss because he's really just, I don't know. He's like dumb. Something that looks like him could be a boss in a raid as well. I don't know. I wonder if that's what it would be because I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard a rumor that there is going to be a Ma raid, which would make complete sense. But it's like, what is this raid gonna be? Is it gonna be like all the last bosses, like floor six bosses, are the bosses of the raid? Or like, I could see them doing something like that. But that might at the same time make too much sense. So I don't really know. Nobody quote me on that. It's just me speculating out loud. So, whatever. It's okay. Oh my gosh, he's almost dead. We're almost done. Oh, he's dead. And there is our achievement. What did I get? I got a pet. Severs. Let's have a look at him. I collect pets. I really like them. I level them. I do all sorts of things. It's just fun. Is Severs just a hand? What is it? Yeah, it's a weird green glowing hand. So if that's your thing, you're in luck because if you kill this guy, you will eventually probably get one. Now, that concludes our run of the Upper Reaches Layer 8 of Torghast. Thank you for watching my weird, socially awkward video, and you can always follow me if you want to see my future, probably still socially awkward and weird videos.